Alright, so welcome to the sound quality section of the video. What I'm going to do here, just to save time, is I'm going to listen to these first, then these after. But I'm only going to talk about these ones because these are the new ones. And I'm going to be testing these with 4 different tracks, 4 different genres: hip-hop, electronic, rock, and classical. You ready? Let's go. Alright, I know a lot of you guys don't consider Post Malone hip-hop, but hey, it's got good bass to it, so it's a good test for the headphones. When it comes to overall volume between the two, I'd have to say they're pretty close. The differences that I can hear right now listening to the H.Ear On 3 is there seems to be a bit more emphasis on the clarity, especially in the mids. The bass is certainly not as powerful as the XM3s, although pretty substantial. So they're pretty good for hip hop. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, this is the electronic track and it has a very long intro, so let's fast forward a little. So again, amazing clarity here. For this type of music, actually, the H.Ear On 3s perform very, very well. You got deep enough bass, but not so much bass to this overpowering the rest of the music, which the XM3s were doing a little bit. But yes, you could turn that down in the headphones app, so that's not a problem for the XM3s. But I just feel like this, straight out of the box, actually works really well for electronic music. Definitely a thumbs up here. Let's move on to the rock track. So having just listened to this on the XM3s and now listening on these ones, I'd probably say out of the 3 genres so far, this has to be the most closely contested one. One thing I will say when it comes to this kind of music though, is the soundstage isn't quite as good as the XM3s, and that's probably because of the 40mm drivers there on the XM3s and the 25 slightly smaller drivers here on the H.Ear On 3s. But I tell you what, clarity is very good, lots of detail in the music, and actually I feel that this type of music is very well suited for these headphones. Now let's move on to the classical track. So when it comes to this kind of music, it's all about the vocals and the clarity here, and the H.Ear On 3s definitely do deliver, but again there's a big difference in soundstage between the two, so you can feel a bit more space in the room when listening on the XM3s. But in terms of clarity, on the H.Ear On 3s, they're just as good, and it's hard to complain really. If I didn't listen to these first, I'd probably tell you right now that these H.Ear On 3s are some of the best sounding headphones at the moment. But I've got to say, the XM3s just edge out the victory here overall, in my opinion. Alright, that's enough for the sound test. Let's move on to my favorite section, awesome features. So when it comes to the H.Ear On 3s, the colors are just so awesome and the build quality isn't compromised at all. So it's a very premium feeling set of headphones. And when it comes to sound quality, the bass level is way above average, and the clarity, thanks to the high res support, is really, really impressive, especially in the mids and the highs. And then when it comes to battery life, 35 hours battery and 10 minutes charge can give you 2.5 hours playback, which is really great if you're in a pinch. Now the next 3 awesome features apply to both the XM3 and the H.Ear On 3 headphones, and it's the crazy amount of customization you can do via the Sony headphone app. It supports 360 reality audio, you can fine tune your EQs, you can adjust your noise cancelling, you can even take photos of your ears to customize the sound for the shape of your ears, which is crazy. Then you've also got the DSEE HX upscaler, which takes your standard compressed music and makes it sound better. And of course, both headphones have the class leading adaptive active noise cancelling. So it will adjust on the fly if you're traveling, if you're sitting still, if you're on a plane or a car. It's going to adjust it automatically for you, and it works really, really well. Then when it comes to the XM3s, the adaptive noise cancelling is taken to another level because it has a barometer which can detect how far above sea level you are, for example when you're on a plane, and adjust the pressure there inside the headphones and adjust the sound so you get less of that cabin pressure feeling, which makes these maybe the best headphones for flying with. And as you saw in the sound quality section of the video, the XM3s deliver immense bass levels and definitely a wider soundstage. And here's one more really, really awesome thing about the XM3s. Right now, these are £10 cheaper than the H.Ear On 3 headphones, which honestly makes them a real bargain right now. It makes me think that the XM4s are right around the corner. So ultimately, it comes down to you. Do you want a more striking and colourful look, plus 5 hours more battery power when using ANC? If so, the H.Ear On 3s are the perfect headphones for you. Or is 30 hours battery life enough for you and you don't really care about the striking new colours and the patterns on the ear cups and care more about the sound quality, then you should definitely go for the 1000X-M3s. And me personally, right now, I'm probably going to stick with the X-M3s until the X-M4s are released. So if you guys enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're shopping around for noise cancelling headphones, you might want to check out the Bowers & Wilkins PX7s. There's a thumbnail on screen right now for that. And if you want to check out my unboxing video where I created a new word for the analog cable, that thumbnail's also on screen. And if you just subscribed, you're now one of the finest subscribers known to man, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't be late.